Tom Murphy joins us, Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Tom, I'm not going to lie, when we asked you about snow day food, that is not what I expected out of your mouth, yet it was hysterical. Welcome in, buddy. How are you?
Can we talk about the intros, y'all? Come on, man. I don't know. I eat a lot of different stuff. I'll have some soups here pretty soon, too. So,
Okay.
And chili.
And
chili,
chili.
if I can make it.
Tommy made some good gumbo the other day. It got eaten pretty quick. Are you gonna make chili this weekend? Did you make chili last weekend?
No, I
With
didn't.
it being the weather?
No, we made vegetable beef soup. Soup weather right
You're
now.
not careful that St. Elmo's cocktail sauce in the fridge is going to get taken. You better bring that back to your house.
Be a hand severed off.
Or it's going to make its way back to my house. Tom, we just, I don't know if you caught some of that call. Ryan is one of our daily listeners. He's not a fan of what's going on right now, as is the rest of the fan base. They feel that exact same way. How do you feel about this game tonight? Arkansas's favored as a road team. What are your thoughts heading into Baton Rouge later on?
Yeah, I had some jambalaya over the weekend, too, and that's really, really – I love me some jambalaya. I had sausage and shrimp in it. Arkansas has got to be tougher, bottom line. I mean, they have to get in there and rebound harder. There needs to be a better offensive flow. At least these first three games, which are, as difficult as anybody in the conference faced. I mean, you could have thrown Auburn in there maybe for the Ole Miss game, but I do think Ole Miss is very scrappy. But the offensive flow is lacking. Just the physical toughness. I mean, they've been out rebounded, and LSU is in the same kind of boat. They don't have any superstars, but Arkansas has got to find what the roles are. Like Trevor Brazile has been around a long time. So has Jonas Adu. What are their roles going to be on this team? Do you want Boogie Flan taking 20 shots a game, especially if he's 5 for 20? The answer to that is no. So, there's a lot to work on, but I think if they can get a few more stops per game and just be tougher in the paint, and you heard what John Calipari was talking about after the last game. Guys were going in expecting to get a foul called and then just kind of throwing it up.
Yeah.
When the contact occurred with no shot of the ball going in, and a lot of times it wasn't whistled. As much as I like Adu Thero's driving, there are some games, his physicality, there are some games where he's going to get 3 fouls in 6 or 7 minutes of court time. I want more people on more Razorbacks to be as physical and as aggressive as him, but he's got to be a little bit wary of how a game's being called, too.
He leads the SEC in field goal percentage. Hopefully he has another productive game later on tonight. Tom, we were kicking around the idea of lineups, and I know Cal's talked about going bigger. What kind of adjustments do you think we see in the starting lineup tonight, and who he might toss in there to start the game?
That's a great question. And, obviously Nelly was a starter earlier in the year, and because he went 0 for 8 last game, Davis has got to be a key member of this team. And he's been so up and down. I mean, I know the wrist has played into it, but maybe you consider bringing him back in to just shake things up and bring Carter Knox off the bench. Even though I think Knox is, a few inches taller, and maybe what he means by being taller is playing Brazile more minutes, having him in there with Adu more often, and then maybe giving Big Z some time. Big Z's got some improving to do. His ball skills, a lot of times he'll have his hand on a rebound and he won't come away with it. So anyway, I'm going off on different tangents, but I think if there's any lineup changes for the starters, it could be that Davis is back in there.
Yeah, and certainly the way he played in that early spurt against Ole Miss gives you hope. Then you look at the 0 for 8 against Florida, and it makes you scratch your head a little bit. But defensively, I think they're starting to make some strides. But it seems like, Tom, with every step forward on the defensive side that I think you saw against Florida, they regressed a little bit offensively in that game.
No question. The half-court sets just haven't been smooth. A lot of late in the shot clocks and not really having something a set thing they're trying to do. And on defense, there weren't as many just complete breakdown, backdoor things like Ole Miss got on them against Florida, but so much offensive rebounding from Florida. That was in the first half. It was just it felt like Florida was going to keep the ball, 2 or 3 times they got offensive rebounds on multiple times on the same possession. So, I think there's been some strides defensively, but to me it all starts with being able to get more deflections. They're an athletic enough team that the turnover count needs to be higher. And obviously that leads into more open court, more breaks and things like that. And to me, this team is desperately needing more open floor, fast break opportunities.
Well, and particularly at home. And I mean, tonight on the road, that would quieten the crowd that is there at Pete Maravich, the PMAC. But I've said that for the last couple of games, you need to have those transition points, because when Bud Walton is at its best, it's that energy that's built off a fast break dunk, a fast break that kicks out for a three. That's what really gives any home court the edge, but particularly Bud Walton.
Oh, there's no question about it. If you think back over the years, it's when you get a steal and a dunk. It because it's an automatic basket. So I agree with you. And when you think back to the drive, was it I think Wagner scored to cut it to 3, and you're thinking, oh, Arkansas's got a shot here. I think they scored 7 in a row. What happened on the next possession? I think Florida got an offensive rebound on that one and wound up hitting a 3, and before you know it, it was 10 again. So they've got to defend the home court better. Obviously, that's a conversation for next week. But I think with the LSU and Missouri games coming up this week, they've got an opportunity. I mean, this is not Ole Miss. I mean, I like the way Missouri's playing. Particularly, they play well at home. They've got a 13-game home winning streak. But this is an opportunity for Arkansas to get back in the game.
Tom Murphy with us, Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, brought to you by the Arkansas Beef Council. Tom, what do you think? Deion Sanders to Dallas? Is it going to happen?
Well, it seems to me, I was doing some reading on that today. Jason Witten, who's coaching the high school team right there in Argyle, in the Metroplex, also is being thought of. So maybe Jerry wants to get what you'd consider a player-friendly guy in there, and Deion would fit that mold. And, it's amazing to think back. I don't know if you guys were hearing it at the time, but in the search that led to Sam Pittman, Deion got interviewed, and we're like, what? Because wasn't he running like the Prime Academy in Dallas at the time? And you're thinking, oh, my gosh, that would be a huge leap. But I guess, his agent, his name, his reputation opened some doors, and he got that interview, and obviously we know what that led to. A lot of hype at Colorado right now with what he's done. But is he ready for the NFL? I don't know the answer to that.
What about Mike McCarthy? Do you think he ends up in Chicago?
I'm not sure. I mean, I've seen posts where Chicago fans wish him good luck getting the Saints job. I wouldn't mind him getting the Saints job either. I wouldn't say Mike is done. I mean, that team they had in Dallas about 3 years ago that went storming into the playoffs with a great run game and a great offensive line. And I think the Packers, somebody beat them in the playoffs pretty handily. It's like, what happened? Is Dak still a viable product at quarterback? Which, you've invested a ton of money in him. I don't know if Mike McCarthy can lead a, multiple playoff run team again, like he did with the Cowboys. It seems to me like folks are going younger and younger, and the hot coordinators like Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, both, with the Lions are the names right now. Yeah,
Ben Johnson is coveted by, it seems like every NFL team, the way he's been calling plays for Detroit. Yeah. Tom, we'll leave it there, man. Appreciate the stuff this morning. We'll see what happens tonight in Baton Rouge at the PMAC.
Sounds good. See y'all.
BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, and college basketball to NHL and UFC. Head to BetOnline today and don't forget to use the promo code BELIEVE for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.